Hello guys. Let me quickly test my audio. Something is off. I'm not getting the audio I should be getting, I think. Hello. Why does this happening? Is this happening? I have an idea. It should be fixed now. Now. Okay, we're good. Hello guys. Thank you, Marled. Your mix are so fire. I'm trying. So I'm still waiting for people to come in, but yeah, today is a very, 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 very special day because it is 15 years of Area Remix. What I mean 15 years, of course, I celebrated the whole summer by releasing all the nice older K-pop remixes and including the new song remixes as I usually release. But today is extra special. Why is it extra special? Because 15 years ago, exactly, 19th of July, I released my first ever Areia remix on YouTube. 2009. 15th of July 2009, I released the first Areia remix on YouTube. Some of you probably know which remix was that. Let me just play it a bit for you. So it is this one. Yeah. So this remix was released exactly 15 years ago on my first channel. Actually, I had a channel called Kuro Neko CPU that I just uploaded this for not exact reason. Back then, things were very, 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 very different than they are now. People wouldn't really think of YouTube and social media as something to monetize or making an income from. The main reason I uploaded it was because I was making remixes, um, and I had a lot of hard disk failures often, and I would lose all this nice work. And I decided I should upload it. So back then we didn't have like Dropbox, we didn't have this kind of services. So I decided, I found YouTube anyways, and I thought, okay, it would be nice if I uploaded it there at least so it can be preserved. And then boom, you have all these people, you know, like watching the video and commenting and liking the video and saying, hey, this is really nice. Why you don't make another one? And I'm like, okay, that's looks fun, you know. I will just upload another one that I was already making. So I uploaded this guy. Actually, let me put the original version, this one. All right, this was just a few days later. Really nice times, similar times. It's 15 years, but it's similar times, yeah. So I uploaded this remix as well, which I have already actually made. And people were like, hey, this is also really nice. Of course, this is nothing like the quality of the remix I'm making now. But back then, there were no other people making remixes on YouTube. And I was like, okay, this is fun. Let me make another one. And I made this one. And people were still like, hey, this is really nice, and so on and so on. And here we are 15 years later. 50 years later, doing exactly the same thing, actually, pretty much. I make a remix, you guys listen to it, and you tell me how you like it. That's how it has been for 15 years. And all that started 15 years exactly ago today. So it's a special day for me. And it has changed my life. Areia Remix has changed my life. And I'm very happy for that. I had my plans to go to Korea anyways, and I did go to Korea about less than a year later, actually a few months later after I released these first remixes. So these were released in July, in the summer of 2009, and I moved permanently to Korea. I mean, I went traveling to Korea that year as well, 2 times, but I moved permanently to Korea in June of 2010. And I've been there since. That has been my main base anyways. I've stayed the first 10 years from 2010 to 2020. I've stayed almost, completely exclusively in Korea. I would just come to Europe like for a month or something like that. But the past 4 years, I've been staying a bit more in Europe as well for many reasons, personally including. But I have my home in Korea as well, and my little home studio. So I also travel there, and I try to share my time between the two. So yeah, that's how everything started. 15 years ago. It's an amazing journey. So, and thank you so much, guys, for this. I don't know if we have anybody original here. It's a bit tricky because sure, like it was obviously, not that many people were around on YouTube back then, and these videos didn't have all these views back then. So it's gonna be hard to find people that actually listen this on the day they were out. But I'm pretty sure many of you started following some years later. And sometime later anyways, I created this channel, the new channel, about a year later after, because back then you couldn't change your name on YouTube. So I had my old, amateur or, my personal YouTube that I started uploading these, and then I re-uploaded these in a brand new channel. And that cut some of my initial impact. It took a while to reach again all the fans that I have on my previous channel, but I think it worked well anyways. And I re-uploaded, remaster versions, which they do sound a bit better in terms of audio quality, but I still like the old ones. They're so fuzzy and uh, they're very different times. The first ones were not even made with using the vocals. They were made just mixing on top of the song. Some really classics, remixes of classic songs. About that, right? And effects, of course. This one. These were released as they were coming out in real time. Like they were released. That's how all the Area Remix is, right? Like when Pop was brand new and the big thing. That's when this remix was made, and many other remixes like this. After School, of course. This remix, let me put the original again. This is the original upload. And people really like these filtered in. Of course, this is an advertisement for soju brand, Tom Chorom, right? But it was a really nice song from Kiara. Kiara were really doing really well back then, and this was at their peak. And yeah, people loved this remix. I remember, I back then, I wouldn't work professionally on this. I wouldn't care so much. I mean, I would make some teasers, maybe, out of excitement and just upload them, and people would wait and wait and wait and wait. Sometimes, I couldn't finish the remix at all. And I wouldn't care so much about, who's famous, who's not. I would remix stuff like this. Ipani was just a model, just also, she made a couple of songs. But of course, legendary song, of course, and legendary remix. This one remains. I don't even have it in good quality. This one remains the only song I ever remixed that doesn't have a music video. And I realized my mistake back then when I uploaded it, and it got almost immediately blocked, because, it's a performance, so, YouTube doesn't like that. Nice. So, Lecri 35 says, for information, all of all the remixes are in my actual playlist. That's nice to hear. And Mark Junkie Girl, which has been following me for a while, says, but of course, I immediately went back and checked everything else you have made until then, because I'm that sort of fan. That's really nice to know. Yeah. What is your favorite old song remix so far? You mean from the new ones that I remixed, That's a nice question. Or do you mean from the really old ones that I was remixing like 14, 15 years ago? It's really hard to choose, anyways. But I think from the new ones, anyways, there are a few that came out quite well. I like for Big Room, I like After School Flashback, how it came out, the drop, and from yeah, I don't even know what I made. It's this month has been crazy, guys, because I've been working on a new remix every day, and um, it's just they just go out of my mind. Like I finish the remix, I release it, then I have to start the next one. So I don't even know what I'm making. I mean, I'm focusing when I make it, obviously. Um, the thing is, many of these songs were some of my favorite songs, anyways. So after remixing them, I still like them a lot. I think yeah, Flashback is quite nice, drop wise, and Raybone's Black Swan.
It's perfect.
Right, this one. And of course, Tiara's number 9, right? Right. Give me just one little moment. Be right back. I'm back. Let me turn this off, turn this on. Sorry about this, guys. Things are running on the background. So, um, yeah, so people are asking, so which one was my favorite from the new ones? I do like progressive trance a lot, so I guess, yeah, it was Rainbow, Black Swan, or something like that. Peter says Cara Lupin. Yeah, it came out nicely. I have another Cara song to remix too. And when did you start thinking about working on 15-year project? Since you're working on so many other projects at the same time. Um, Actually, I was even thinking at the 10 years, so 5 years back, I was thinking to make something nice. But the idea came later, earlier this year. And I'm like, there's so many nice old songs that I haven't remixed. And the most important parameter in all this was then um, there is this new way to extract vocals. So that means I didn't have to search for instrumentals or for, a cappellas here and there. I could just extract the vocals very, 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 very well with these new tools, AI assisted tools. So the doors opened to remix any kind of song I want. So I was thinking, okay, I will make for the month of July like 30 remixes. But then I started making the list, and I ended up with 250 remixes, original songs. And that was just the girl groups and very few, boy groups. And I'm like, okay, 30 remixes is not gonna cut it. I need more because I cannot possibly choose 30 out of 250. And after a long, like a hard time, I still, managed to choose this 74. Thank you so much, Le Cricri 35, who is returning to their job. And I will always appreciate Patreon. Again, guys, I'm not making any money from YouTube. All money goes to the original companies and their artists. I'm only making any income from Patreon. Yeah. So Mars Junkie Girl says, it's been such a nice gift to us second gen fans, really, because K pop is such a fast moving industry. Those old songs get forgotten by most, even if they were hits. Indeed. Uh, I made the list. When I was making the list, I rediscovered many of the songs and, like, hey, I really like this song, but, I don't listen to it anymore because I forgot about it. And this was a great opportunity to remember all these nice songs. And yeah, there is some great discography from like 10 years back or even more. And I'm glad to be here remixing them. And yeah, and K-pop has changed a lot too. We really are in an era that K-pop has adapted a lot to follow social media trends. These big energetic choruses have became just something like little hooks just for social media quick enjoyment, just to put on TikTok and make a little dance. That's how they make songs these days. Or to put it more accurately, it's not like songwriters are not making all kinds of songs. They're still making nice songs of whatever. It's just that the companies are choosing those songs that have these little hooks, these very simple little hooks. So that's how it is right now. And yeah, that has also you see like Tara number 9, right? And you got these really nice chorus that I can make this nice build up, but These days, I have to use more and more the pre-chorus for the build-up because the actual chorus is just like, I don't know, sheesh, sheesh, sheesh. What kind of build-up can you do with that? But at the same time, it's nice for the drop, right? So, and yeah, so after this, we moved on. The big change, I guess, this was the last one. Fantastic song here from Girls' Generation. And I actually, this is when I changed my workstation, my software to make remixes. That was the last one I made with FL Studio back in 2010, right? Or yeah, this should be 2010. And then I moved to another software which allowed me, much better remixes. Another thing I was thinking to do for this 15-year celebration was to remaster some of these, but I thought, it's much better to make new ones, spend my time to make new ones instead of remastering the old ones. Songs that need remastering is like this one. You see the vocal is all the way back there, and the sounds, are getting a lot of distortion. And I actually tried to remaster this, and it came out very nicely. Also, using a new vocal source, like, yeah, this would come much better. Also, Nine Moose is not playable, although I have many second thoughts about this song after watching Nine Muse's debut documentary, how the girls really didn't want to do that. So I don't really want to re-release that. Yeah, I used FL Studio. So I started making music. It was around 1996, 95 to 96 with DOS programs, trackers, a fast tracker. Then eventually, on Windows, I started using Fruity Loops as sequencer. That's how it was called. Fruity Loops version 1 and 2 and 3. And then much later became FL Studio, but I stopped using FL Studio about in 2010. Yeah. And I find this, Ableton is way more comfortable to make music anyways. I don't know how FL Studio has changed since, but this was a much more serious and nice interface anyways, and way of doing things. So I liked your hard-coded subtitles on the videos back then, though very nice in an age before soft subs became available for most, right? Because now, yeah, official music videos, they put English subtitles. Back then, I thought it was nice, but I don't think there is any point right now to do that. Even soft subtitles, because people can just go and enjoy the original with original subtitles, and they can focus on the remix instead now. And it's just extra work and extra time to put the subtitles, that especially after I edit the video, it's not like I can just download the subtitle from the original and just put it on the video. I have to, tune it here and there. There's repetitions, so I have to remake the subtitle pretty much, and that's a lot of extra work on top of, making the remix. So instead of, doing things like that, like making the subtitles, why don't I spend my energy on making more remixes, for example, right? One of the things that I've done with subtitles that I really liked, but it took so much time, was this one. see what I'm doing here? I'm highlighting the English word when they're singing the Korean one. Okay, that's a great way to learn Korean, I guess. And it's very natural when you're reading the subtitle and the English one highlights, right? But that also took a lot of work. I had a lot of experience from doing actually what was called karaoke music videos, because before I started making remixes many years back, like 2002 or 3 or 4, I was actually very active on translating, like subtitling Japanese dramas back then and Japanese music videos and making them like that with karaoke. That's a lot of work anyways. I never want to do that again. And yeah, Tsitsi, huh? um when I released this remix, I could never imagine, of course, that less than a year later I would be working with these girls and making music for them, with them. um it was really amazing to work with it at Trophy Entertainment, with Tsitsi and Antamiro. And it was an incredible experience. I learned everything I know about artist production. It all started there. Trophy Entertainment had a really great CEO with a lot of experience. He was really nice. Nothing like the stories you hear with some groups, that they had so much trouble with their companies or stuff like that. The company was really nice. The CEO was really nice. And I learned so much about how to working and treating, these groups, like these artists really nicely, and take making them make sure, they have their confidence, and they can offer the best they can. Yeah, so um, somebody's asking here, Marchagi girl is asking, but it must have taken so much work. You were learning Korean back then too, right? Yeah. So I started learning Korean when I was actually in the Navy in Greece. We have a mandatory service, so I went for a year to the Navy to just get get it out of the way. And at the first months, it was kind of horrible, and busy. I was in Athens, and at the base anyway, naval base in Athens, and yeah. But after that, I could get the transfer to my hometown, actually, near my hometown, anyways. And I had a lot of free time back then, and I thought, okay, that's a great time to study some Korean. And that's what I did. I studied some Korean. I started then. I already was speaking Japanese, though. Okay, I was already quite fluent in Japanese, so um, Korean came much easier to me. And then, of course, when I went to Korea, I went to the university there for a Korean language course for 2 years. And that's how I could speak much better. But back then, yeah, when I was making these subtitles, you couldn't even find subtitles, or you like on Google, you couldn't even find the translation anywhere. So I had to translate this and also, do the highlight. And I remember, I was also thinking to do it on other ones, but I gave up because it was so much work. There are some legendary remixes there, like, yeah, that's me back then. So yeah, this is a Nugu group, right? JQT, and I really like the remixing this kind of songs. This song, it's in a good group, but it still sounds so much better than many things that K-pop groups are making these days, and they can sing quite well. So Yeah, so many nice remixes back then. My first Dalsabet remix, unfortunately, is blocked now, so I don't have it uploaded anywhere. Oh, there is Subin. So yeah. So for the people that don't know, so the remix I released yesterday, the official remix I released yesterday, which was Subin's Dal Subin, right? What is Dal Subin? Dal Subin is this girl is Subin from Dalsabet. Okay. Uh, there she is, yeah. So it's a bit hard to recognize somebody like so many years ago, but yeah, that's Subin, right? And so again, when I was making these remixes, I would never imagine that I would actually work with this artist so many years later. So yeah, we worked together with Tal Subin and we made this remix. That's why it's official. And now she's, of course, Dalsabet doesn't exist anymore, at least from their company. But I think Dalsabet had one of the best times with their company. I haven't heard any complaints, and the girls seem happy to talk about their time in Dalsabet. So yeah, Subi now she's a DJ. She's doing very well. She's going to big festivals, and she's also releasing original music. So I recently remixed her latest song, and we released it together officially. And it was really nice to work with Subin. And it's fantastic. Like Subin, guys, if you go to her live, for example, in her YouTube channel, and you can hear her. It's amazing how sometimes she sings, like out of nowhere. She just watches something, the computer, and she just starts singing. She doesn't miss a single note, nothing. Okay, and she goes high, she goes low on random songs, on random content, and she doesn't miss a single note. Now compare that to recent girl groups that have debuted, and I mean it's a very different comparison, and I will explain in a minute. But compare that to girl groups actually debuting and not being able to hit their notes anywhere on the lives, nothing. But of course, it's very different for a new artist like 15, 16-year-old. They don't have that as much experience as Subin has so many years later, obviously. So, but it's not just that. That's what I'm trying to say. I think a lot more attention was given back then to for the artist to actually be able to sing very well than what the attention they're giving now. Yeah, is what I said about before about how music has changed a lot, K-pop music, and it's not just in Korea; it's actually globally, but especially in Korea, because in order to be successful in pop music these days, you really have to make some kind of viral content, and this viral content, because people have a lot shorter attention span, you have to catch their attention really fast, and it's very hard to catch their attention with these longer energetic choruses. So the companies have opted in for much more hook based hooks, choruses, the anti-chorus. So now the songs are like supernova, right? Or sis, or any song you get, it's like that. They don't have these explosive choruses that the energy builds up and boom, it explodes in the chorus. And because of that, also singing skill is not as required, because it's where the chorus is where all the skill showed. Okay, let me give you Let me give you an example here. If I find, I have many in mind, but I want a specific one. Yeah, there it is. Listen to this. Who can sing this in fourth and fifth generation? Who? I mean, of course, there is Yotz Idol, there is Mamamoo. You know, they're great singers, but they're not these new groups, right? They're still, you know, third, fourth. So bring me one of these just debuted ones. Yeah, maybe Baby Monster can do it because they're so well trained. But who else can sing this? Espa, of course. Okay, Espa can do it if they want. But you know who I'm referring to? I'm referring to these hype groups, obviously. New Jeans, Elite, you know, this kind of stuff. Like, they cannot even sing the verses, not the choruses. So their songs obviously are made much simpler. They keep, you know, in the same octave, and they cannot perform. And I don't know. I'm very skeptical about this. I'm very skeptical about this. Yeah, you say Lily of NMIX is crazy. Sure, you got one member. Here, everybody was exceptional. Each of these guys could generate their own solo career, and some of them did. Of course, Temin, you know, what an artist, Temin, right? Fantastic artist. And but it's not just Temin, you know, all of them, they had amazing vocal skills on their own, you know. Oh, hi. So those groups were exceptional. But there were fewer groups back then too, but yeah. Yeah, NMIX are, I don't know, they haven't caught my attention yet. The songs, like their style and songs, you know. I'm not talking about skill now. Yeah, Twice. Remember the times when people were saying Twice cannot sing? It sounds like a meme now, right? It sounds like a joke compared to what we have now, the newer groups. Because Twice can actually sing compared to them. Yeah, Need You is not. Um, they don't do K-pop, right? Need You is. I mean, I know, of course, they're producing Korea and everything, but you know, they're Japanese-oriented group. I don't follow them. That's what I'm trying to say. So I don't know about them too much. I just know they exist. But the reason I don't follow, you know, other stuff than K-pop, it's not like I wouldn't like to follow. It's because there's so many things I try to keep focus on K-pop. That's all. Of course, there's fantastic stuff out there. XG, right? Wow. Well, you know, they're doing really nice stuff. But I cannot follow everything because, you know, my time is so limited. So if I follow them, I would have to, you know, unfollow other stuff. So I rather stay focused in K-pop, strictly in K-pop. Exactly. Yeah. So little time. I remember. So when I was growing up in the 90s, 80s too, but 80s I was too young. In the 90s, um, you know, the music I could listen to was just when I actually had the actual CD, right? There was no internet. And so, you know, I didn't have a lot of money either. So the only chances to listen to music was radio, which they played whatever they wanted. And then you got a CD. So you spend all your month budget, you know, just save up to buy one CD, or you could borrow one from your friend, and you give them another one you have, this kind of thing. So you had like one or two CDs, and you would listen to this for a month, and it was really nice enjoyment of getting to know, the music, the tracks, the whatever you were listening back then. But then the internet came, and then the MP3 came, and we started downloading songs. And I remember finding myself, at some point, just before the internet, I was, I would borrow a CD from my friend, and I would make this into MP3 so I can listen to it later. And that's how it started getting to the level that I had more music that I had time to listen to. So I found myself just, collecting music. And especially when internet got into our lives, like early, I don't know, 2000, 2001, 2, and I started downloading all these MP3s. Just, it was exhausting just to, put them on the right folder name and the title name. And that's all I was doing instead of actually listening. I would listen like 5 seconds from each track, and then, just keep collecting. And then I found out I don't need to do that. Why do I do that? And thankfully, the internet changed to streaming like 10 years later. And we don't have to collect music anymore and spend our time to, save music. Um, so, yeah, but there is so much music out there now. The music is very democratized right now, which means anybody can release anything. Back then, you needed a record label, but now anybody can release anything, including pop, and it got so complex. So there's so much music out there. Roman. Hello, Roman. How are you? Long time supporter. Um, yeah, wait on the radio for the song to be ready to tape. It's been there, done that. And make the tape exactly as I want it so I can listen to it later. Oh, hi, Cyclonicleo, another long time supporter. Yeah, congrats on the Dal Subin remix. Well done. Great work. Thank you. Right. So yeah, this has been, of course, remarkable. Remix number 100. Chichi Love's Energy.
Is energy. Aria remix.
And there I am too. So this was, back then it was very different times. Very, very different times, because there were just 4 or 5 people on YouTube making remixes, K-pop remixes. My channel was already the largest, but there was still a lot of competition. Um, because there were good remixes. Okay, I remember Epiton and a couple of others. They were making really nice remixes. So we had some kind of healthy competition, you would say, like a new big song would come out. I don't know, from Girls' Generation. Let me mention Robotaki too, right? He was making really nice music. So some new song would come out from a big group, and we would get to remix it into an unofficial competition. We wouldn't really speak to each other much. Just, we knew, like, the other person uploaded this remix. We knew it was a challenge. Like, can you make it better than this? Huh. And then one day, boom, I upload this, which is a girl group, a mid-level girl group back then. It was not Girls' Generation, of course, but a mid-level girl group holding, my sign, Area remix, and saying it, and boom, I'm also there. Okay, it's not like I'm also there, and it was amazing. It was kind of shocking, like to people, like to see back then, this thing. And because also, Korea was not invaded yet by tourism, by K-pop tourism. This was the beginning of Hallyu, the Korean wave, and it was really, really nice. But yeah, I was there for months, anyways, with Trophy Entertainment and working with the girls, some new songs, and Antamir, of course. It was really nice times. Right? Because so Mars Chunky Girl says, honestly, I haven't encountered anyone these days who's been as consistent as the folks who started remixing on YouTube back then. Because here's, I think there's a very big difference. You see, if you go like for some time, I was number one in terms of subscribers on YouTube, right? But then uh, I didn't lose my position from somebody that was actually making remixes from scratch, like remixes like this. I started losing my position from people that were making these kind of silly content or mashups or, very fast remixes. And because exactly, they were younger than me and they got the message really fast that people, they have shorter attention span, and I will just put whatever, and that's what they did, and some of them became really big. But the ones that we were doing back then, the thing is, you couldn't be 14-year-old and make good music back then, um, so most of us were over our 20s, we're 25, so we just had more attention, like, and consistency, because we kept doing that. But now, yeah, it's a lot of content. There's people trying, of course. There's a lot of nice people, nice guys trying stuff. But these days, yeah, maybe somebody doing one good remix and disappearing, or just doing some average remixes without a lot of consistency. Kid Aria, yeah. There I am, many years late, many years before. Come on, I'm the same. Few, I'm, I gained a bit of weight. I mean, I'm losing now weight, but compared to then, I don't know, I was like 75 kilos. Now I'm 90. So uh, the um, late 30s have hit me really hard. So I still follow some of these girls, Sui here and Sia. They were guys. These girls were really talented. Like, I wouldn't even dare to compare. Like, we were talking about this before, but I don't think, like, you got this talent now and you make a super group. Like, these girls were fantastic. Yeah, like, you see, they had virality in their the choreography even back then, when virality was not even a point. They have figured it out. They have figured it out, and I was there to live it. And that's exactly they were thinking. Like, hey, let's make something to catch the audience. That's how they were calling it back then. Catch the audience. Um, so Master Jargi Girl is asking if who's doing this kind of work now and you think it's worth taking out. Well, for the same reason I don't follow, I don't know, XG or Niju. I don't check on YouTube what's going on with other people making remixes. I have no idea. My experience is circumstantial. Sometimes when I'm very tired from my work and I open my YouTube, sometimes it recommends like, oh, somebody's remix. And I just click it and listen, I don't know, 15 seconds. And I'm like, okay, yeah. And that's how I got my view. Sometime, I think, I don't know, a couple of years ago, I did a more extensive research, which means I spent like 10 minutes on just checking what's out there, what's my competition. Um, and to be honest, I didn't find much. That doesn't mean there are not excellent remixes out there, okay? Just not a channel of consistently putting good remixes. Uh, I know there are very good remixes out there. Like I was, so when Dalsobane sent me this Mac um, song to remix, I'm like, okay, I know she's a DJ and I know what she's doing, and let me see what kind of remix she would like. And I just went, I searched and found out, what she does, right? She performs live DJing, but also she sings. So you got this EDM track, and then she actually sings live. And I watched one of her performance of Super Diva, which was the debut song of Dalsabet, while DJing an EDM remix of it. And the remix was so fantastic. I don't know who made it, but I could never make such remix. That's how I felt like, wow, the standards of, these are crazy. It's this, festival remix that, it has these cut vocals and there's so many things going on. And like, come on, I can make I mean, I cannot make this remix. I have to spend a lot of time to research new methods. I will just make my classic trance remix, my progressive trance remix, and that's what I did with Mag. So what I'm saying is there are good remixes out there, of course. So yeah, that's Love is Energy. Really great time. This is the reason that I don't do anything that has to do with Japan. So what happened is I uploaded this remix. It's just I thought it's SM Entertainment, right? It's Girls' Generation, right? And I've uploaded so many remixes with them, and I was like, okay, I will remix this Paparazzi, which is only, it was a Japanese release, and then boom, Universal Music Japan just gave me a strike. I'm like, what? Why? And I figured out, yeah, Universal Music Japan actually has the rights of this, and not SM Entertainment. And they gave me a strike because that's what Japanese companies do. While the Korean companies are happy, with their content being uploaded, Japanese companies are still living in, I don't know, the 80s. So they gave me a strike, and I did contact Universal Japan, wrote them in Japanese, like, yo, what's the problem? I upload this all the time, and the companies are happy. Why did you give me a strike? And they said, this is our content, and you should not upload. And I said, okay, so I will never upload again. So sorry, I didn't know, that. I thought, SM Entertainment in Korea owns the copyright for this. So can you please remove the strike, and I will never upload anything from your content ever again. And that's how it went. They removed the strike, and I never uploaded anything that has anything to do with Japan, because Universal Japan owns most of these anyways, so yeah, Japan is very weird with their distribution model. They live in their own market bubble, their own world. I don't know if they're still releasing half remixes, half songs. At some For many many years, they were not releasing the full song on YouTube because they still had physical sales. So people had to actually go buy the DVD to watch the full music video or watch it on TV. Um, I think they adapted nowadays, I hope, and they actually released the full music video on YouTube. Like, oh, Japan takes forever to change, okay? Like, it's very slow paced. It's the Germany of Asia. Yeah, Japan has a very big market. People are used to buy music. They like to buy music still. So it's a very large consumer market. Okay, it's a good combination of a lot of things. People don't really look to find things like they're used to buy music anyways. Okay, let's not say other stuff. They just used to buy music. They're used to pay for music, and they're happy to pay for music, to get CDs, to get this kind of stuff. So it's a very good market, consumer market. That's how Japan is. So yeah, now there's some nice releases that many K-pop groups do in Japan, from you know Twice, ITZY, you name it. Back then, AOA, but I never touched those again because of this remix. I mean, even if I was not finding out on this remix, I would find a bit later, anyways. Um, this is when I don't remember if this is the first remix, but maybe this is the first one, maybe not. Um, so here's what happened. When I first went to Korea, um, exactly because back then internet was not that saturated, it was very easy for producers to find me. Okay, for I mean Korean companies to find me, because they would just go on this new tool that Westerners use, which is called YouTube, and they would search for, I don't know, their group song just to do their research, and they would find my remix. So they were like, hey, there is this guy, this non-Korean guy doing K-pop remixes. That's great, because back then there was really not a big international fan base. So they were like, hey, they were feeling some kind of pride, right? They're Korean, and there is people out of Korea actually listening to our music and actually remixing it. That's great. So I got a lot of contact back then. Okay, a lot of contact from people, either from managers from companies or from songwriters, producers. A lot of people that wanted to meet me and discuss, either just drink, and just meet me, or some people were like, hey, let's work together, stuff like that. So anyways, this is one of the first times, I think. Yeah, it was after I met Ryan Jun. So Ryan Jun is now a very, very famous songwriter in Korea, because he kept making hits. But back then he approached me because I made a remix of Sign is Lucifer. And this is one of the songs he has worked on. And for some time I was receiving the original vocals for, which was a great source, from him to make remixes for the songs he was writing. His team, I mean. Yeah, I have so many cards from managers, like. But the most funny thing, it was, I don't remember the year exactly, maybe 2012. There I am in Cube Cafe. So Cube Entertainment had a cafe right at the bottom floor that you could just go, and the artist would just come and go anyways. Hyuna would just walk by, and it was fun. And anyways, so I was not there just to have a coffee, obviously, but I met the, I don't remember the position exactly. It was this international or global marketing guy that didn't speak any English. I was very amazed how backwards and back, a big company like Cube and their global marketing guy couldn't speak English at all. Zero. What what is that? You cannot find a Korean American person that wants to work in your company and has some good experience with this. No, no, you know. So obviously nowadays, many years later, 12 years later, I'm pretty sure, they got plenty of these kind of people. I'm just saying how close-minded back then they were. And they would just, promote internally or hire their friends or own guys, without the proper qualification. You're a global marketing guy. You have to speak English. How are you going to do global marketing without English, right? And yeah, this was also. There is Mint from Tiny G, wrote Areia Creations. This was not exactly official because it was not with the company, it was just with the artist directly. Good times, anyways. And here is one of my favorite ones. Why they don't make them like that? These are groups. You know who's very similar to Dalsabet? Can you tell me? Like, try to guess. What's the girl group when you see them? Okay. Hello, Subin. Here's Subin. So when you see them, who is the most similar group these days? Can you guess? There is one group that is very similar to Dalsabet. And if you after we discuss this and you just go and watch their stuff, you're gonna say, hey, what? You can never imagine it. But it's very obvious and reasonable. Dreamcatcher. Dreamcatcher is the evolution of Dalsabet. What? What? How? It's totally different. And no, go watch them. They're exactly the same group, just evolved. Okay? They just evolved. They're the same group. Why? Because it's the same people behind everything. Happy Face Entertainment, they did Dalsabet, and they took everything they learned from Dalsabet and they just applied it to Dreamcatcher with a different style, of course. But if you see their expressions, their choreography, their song making, the lyrics, everything, you can imagine Dalsabet singing Dreamcatcher songs and Dreamcatcher singing Dalsabet songs, and you wouldn't know what's going on. Yeah, the sound is different. It's the concept. The concept is different, right? The market for different markets, but they're the same expressions. You can see it starts from casting. The girls have many, many similarities, okay? Like their aura, right? Many, many similarities. And the group, how the group is constructed. Then the way they look at the camera. Come on. Don't tell me that this couldn't be Dreamcatcher right here. I mean, if they were back then in 2011, okay, and we're doing this, that could be Dreamcatcher. The way they stand, everything is very different. It's very specific. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's not other girl groups were doing exactly this kind of style. So, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, Dreamcatcher. I actually was. What time is it? in 35 minutes in my other channel, K-pop Nerd, um, I have my video of reaction of Dreamcatcher's Justice, and I talk about all this stuff and how, Dreamcatcher has been doing very well. Also, their concept helps a lot in terms of keeping um, like here's the point, like if somebody's strictly with this cutie pop and then they change to a bit more mature pop later, a group, I mean a girl group, at some point after when they're nearing their 30s, their company is gonna disband them. But Dreamcatcher are doing metal pop, and it's not unreasonable. Like the fan base is a bit different, and it's not unreasonable for metal pop. If you think about it, like who cares if the girls are a bit older? Even better, works even better. They're more mature. They can do whatever. And when I say more mature, I don't mean they don't have to be sexy. They can be more mature. Their concepts can be more mature for what they're doing. So I think they can have a longer lifespan because of that. But also, their company, I think, has been really smart in their funding and how they're using it. If you watch their music videos, you can see this up and down. So what they're doing is they don't throw all their money on every comeback. You can see they are very nicely conservative. You can see sometimes the budget is a bit higher, but they drop it nicely. They keep the production quality in there, but you can see, they drop the budget a bit, but who cares, because then a few months later they have a new song. So it's all great. I think they're doing very good management. That's what I'm saying. I think the Dreamcatcher company is doing really, really well, really good management. So props to them. So yeah, really, really great stuff here. So I could go all day. This is still 113 remix, 113, and I made about, I don't know, 750 of them. So we have a lot of stuff. Lot of stuff. And I was supposed to make a remix, but I don't think I'm not gonna do it live. Today I'm thinking to remix Mamamoo Egotistic. It's on my old K-pop songs remix list. Although it's actually the latest. Okay, it's 2018. It's not exactly old K-pop, but it's still 6 years old. And I thought it's nice to choose one Mamamoo song as well, as a tribute. I'm not the biggest fan of Mamamoo, okay? I mean, their concepts and music, to be honest, they seem a little too, not my style anyways, too aggressive, too, I don't know. But that doesn't mean, I shouldn't remix their songs, of course. And this is the song I picked that I thought it's missing from my remixes. Although, so it's probably the newest of the old K-pop remixes, right? 2018. And I'm going to remix that, but not live. So anyways, yeah. So that's what I wanted to, this I wanted to say hello, and that it's 15 years of Areia Remix today, 19th of July 2009. That when was the first Areia Remix came out. So I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna close here. Thank you so much for watching, and please check out my remixes. Today, Wonder Girls Tell Me, a legendary song, is remixed in 30 minutes, actually, in exactly 30 minutes. So have a nice day.